Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well today. Today I've got a different kind of video that I don't even know how I'm going to edit this video, so that's going to be a surprise to me how I pull that one off. But I'm going to talk about priorities, and I'm going to talk about the 5 different things I collect for Transformers, whether it be Hasbro, the new Hasbro stuff, whether it be Masterpiece or Legends or G1 or Beast Wars. So I'm going to talk about all of these different lines that I collect. I'm lumping Beast Wars into one and prioritizing which one means the most to me, which one means the least to me, and what I'm going to focus on going forward. And if I had to sell one off, then it'd be one in the low priority range. So this is kind of the discussion. It's just time that I think a lot of collectors are doing the same thing, taking priority of their collection and taking stock of their collection and then kind of just reprioritizing. But let's get into talking about this. Hopefully this helps some people that are thinking about the same thing right now. We'll discuss this coming up. Okay, so number 5 on my list is my Beast Wars collection. Now, I want to tell you that I do love my Beast Wars collection. I think it's great, and the pieces I have in it I like. But as you can see, I don't allocate a lot of space to this. I literally should have 3 shelves displayed better. Instead, I figured out how to Tetris cram them all on one shelf. It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good to me looking at it. I need to either allocate more space to it or do something different. But if I were to let a collection go, it would be the Beast Wars. Because, and I'll get into why, I never really was a vintage Beast Wars fan. I loved the show back in 1996, 1997. I think it went from 96 to 98, something along those lines. And I did enjoy the show. I had a lot of fun with it. It was good, but I didn't enjoy the toys. I didn't like the way they looked. And for the most part, they just didn't feel right. Something about the whole concept didn't feel right, even though the show was entertaining and fun. The toys weren't so much fun. I really did kind of want cars and trucks and planes versus beasts. But I did buy a few here and there. I think this Transmetals were what really got me the most. I like the Transmetals. I bought several of the Transmetals, and it felt more like something that we would see in the G1 line. But my favorite of all of them was this Dragon Megatron. Even though it's not something you probably would have seen in the G1 line, it still, to me, was just kind of the coolest thing that came out of Beast Wars back in the day. I had a lot of fun with it, which kind of is why I like what they're doing with Transart. Now, I really do like the Transart stuff, and it's probably the most exciting thing going on right now when it comes to the Beast Wars Transformers. But with that, I missed a couple of the releases. I'll probably get them when they reissue them. They're pretty good about reissuing them. But Takara seems to have sort of just given up on Beast Wars. I know they have a Rhinox coming, but I like the Takara stuff too. I think Takara did great work with it, and we're finally getting iterations of the figures that look good to match the cartoon, and they're not as terrible as those original figures that they had out. And on top of it, I guess time heals all wounds. I have warmed up to this a lot more, but it's still the lowest on the totem pole for me. The Beast Wars stuff, in general, Masterpiece and everything, Hasbro, mainline, and the vintage and the retro and all that, is my lowest priority right now. So next is number 4 on my priorities list here for Transformers is Hasbro mainline stuff, the modern stuff. I want to say that I think that Transformers is one of the best lines Hasbro has and has done, and I want to commend them. They've done great work. A lot of things that they've done is outstanding. Some of the distribution sucks on some figures, but as a whole, Hasbro's done great from Siege to now, and there's a lot of good things that they've done, a lot of things I want to commend them on, but they are number 4 on my priority list. It's above anything Beast Wars, the G1 stuff, for the most part. This bridge set is an outstanding value and an outstanding set, considering some of these figures command high prices on the secondary market. I'm curious to see how that Megatron comes out. I think this is a very bipolar set, but I believe this is a fantastic set. Would be nice if they would have offered Hound separately, and they might still do that, but this ticks all the boxes of a G1 collector. It's a great set overall. So they're doing some good things out there, but my heart's not in this as much as it's in some of the other things I'm going to talk about, some of the other lines that I'm going to talk about. But I think they're doing good work here. They're doing great work for a decent price, and this is going to be offered more or less at a budget price at 110. So there are things I'm going to commend Hasbro when they do well. They have a lot more combiners coming out, but I find myself with the price points going up, even though I feel like value-wise the value's still there. But it's pushing the limits of what I think a retail price point should be for some of these, especially Commander class, $90 now, Titans $200, and I'm still picking up some stuff, but here's what I've noticed. 2024 was going to be a whole lot of other eras and not G1, and their pre-orders did not sell out, hardly any. Now that there's this leak list for 2025, it's almost like they did a scramble. What could we do? Reissue a whole bunch of stuff, cool, boom. What else can we do? We need to get some stuff out there that's G1 so that we can salvage 2025, because they kind of lost 2024. But more of these combiners will be great. They did great with this Minosaur. They righted a wrong, and it looks good. Their Superion probably will look good. All the other ones that they come out with will look good. But it's redundant for me because I have them in Masterpiece and other iterations. Number 3 on my list, my agenda here is Legends. I've got to say that Legends does stuff different than Masterpiece because, A, they don't have to be 100% Masterpiece-y. They can have hands that don't have articulation in them. They can do some things because on a smaller scale, it's just accepted. And they still look great. I mean, you can have a great-looking figure that has a giant tab just sticking out of its leg. I mean, that's just kind of what you get with Legends. But you look at them, they look super G1. They fit the bill. They work really well. They look better than most of the Hasbro stuff that's put out there. But, and less kibble. They have less waffling than Hasbro stuff. So they look great. They look fantastic. But for me, it's number 3. It's above the Hasbro stuff, above Beast Wars. And yes, there's going to be some Beast Wars Legends, but I'll lump all that in the Beast Wars. But I like Magic Square and New Age. So I'm showing the Magic Square pictures because I have them and they're easy to get to. But what I want to say about this is the fact that Masterpiece, let's say you collect Masterpiece. The Masterpiece stuff is, some of it's older. Some of it, they haven't seen a new iteration of some of the characters for 5 years. And they're just getting put back out with like another Sandstorm, just getting reissued. And we're not seeing a new Sandstorm. We're not seeing a new this, not seeing a new that. Coneheads aren't really getting anywhere. And with that, you're seeing all new stuff with Magic Square and New Age for Legends. And I think that that's where Legends does edge out Masterpiece because they haven't done every character yet. Some characters that were done at Masterpiece were done in 2014. So some of the characters being done in Legends are new technology, going in a new direction, hyper tune, getting that looking like they walked off the screen versus, 2014 was a while ago. That's technically 10 years ago. And some of those figures are still around as not getting a refresh. But with that, Legends is cool. It's my 3rd favorite. It's my 3rd on my priority list. So I'm going to continue with collecting it, of course. But if I had to drop it, I'd be dropping it before I drop the next 2. This can be an entire video or a debate or a discussion, and we could go into all of that. But this is a picture out of my crazy G1 Transformers collection. This was about 4 hours of work to take off all of my carded Star Wars vintage Kenner and pull it off meticulously and move it out of the way. Film this video I made here, take pictures and stuff. I took the clip out of my video because it's just way too much work to pull all that off there and not mess up any of the figures. And anyhow, it all looks different back behind there too these days. But G1 is my number 2 priority behind what my number 1 is. And there's a lot of reasons for that. G1 stuff is fun, and some of the stuff is getting expensive, and I've had a lot of fun collecting it, but it just doesn't look right. I mean, I know that there are some figures that look great. The Optimus Prime looks great, but I just reviewed Megatron. It doesn't look great. It doesn't look like I'd want a Megatron to look. And so if I were to say, hey, what would you rather have in your collection on display? Would you rather have a G1 Megatron displayed, or would you rather have the MP36 Megatron displayed? And of course that would be, I'd rather have the MP36 displayed. And the reason for all this is that I don't even display my G1 stuff. It's hidden behind my Star Wars collection. And that is because I don't think it displays very well. Now, I had a friend of mine, and I should have done his video, but he said he had a few more pieces to complete. Then he sold it off to buy a car for his daughter. I never did his video. He had an amazing well displayed G1 collection. Probably the best. It inspired me to complete my combiners and I do a few more things. Now, I don't really go after G1 so much these days. Sometimes I do something and I'm like, yeah, okay, I want to complete this, I want to complete that, I want to get my Metroplex or something. But there's a lot of these G1 figures that the parts have gotten stupid expensive, and if I didn't complete them 10 or 15 years ago, it's not worth it to me to drop 80 or $100 on one figure to get it complete. It just isn't worth it. But it's worth it if maybe I just missing a part I can get for 15. But I look at that, and sometimes I go after a G1, and sometimes I just leave it alone. It's the way it is. Now you're saying, well, Mike, but you spend $200 on something else modern, and that's where the trade-off is. That's where the priorities come into play. That's why I have to make these decisions and think about all this. Priorities. Number 2. Number 1 on my priority list is Masterpiece Transformers. When it comes to Transformers, Masterpiece is it. And specifically the G1, but I do branch out into other areas and grab a figure that's not G1 just for fun to check it out. Most of the time it's an Optimus Prime, I'll admit it. Most of it is Optimus Primes for different eras, which is why it's odd that I'm not back in this HasLab just yet. And I'm still on the fence, and I'm still saying no so far. I'm still holding to my guns. But this X-Transbots, is this the first picture of Agamemnon? Or not Agamemnon, Abaddon? Abaddon? Anyway, is this the X-Transbots Galvatron? Maybe, is it? I think it is. Anyhow, there's a lot of cool things coming down the pipeline for Masterpiece. It's exciting, it's fun. I understand why people prioritize modern, because we're getting some great iterations of classic characters. But been there, done that. I've already got the G1, and I've had it for decades. See, Masterpiece Transformers, to me, it's the most important when it comes to collecting Transformers, because A, the size and scale, B, the aesthetic. Really, in most cases, most of these Masterpiece versions have yet to be beat in a Legend scale, unless they've been copied and downsized. that's happened a couple times, but also copied and upscaled. But I really find that Masterpiece is it. It's got die cast for most of these. These figures are really, some of them are just spot on, walk off the screen perfect. Some of them are a little old and outdated. Some of them are getting refreshes from other companies. Some of them are getting 2.0s from the same companies, which I'm not a huge fan of all of that, but I understand why it goes on. But it is a whole lot of fun. Masterpiece is my favorite. And the thing is, in all reality, you're not out there buying 50 new Masterpiece a year. I mean, some people are, but I'm not. I'm probably getting along the lines of 20 Masterpiece a year. But it makes each one special if you're not getting 2 or 3 Masterpiece figures a day. You can go out with a mainline and come home from a Walmart with 4 new Transformers from Hasbro. That's a much different experience than getting one Masterpiece Transformer and taking a few days with it and enjoying it. Putting it on a shelf for 2 weeks next to maybe the old version to see which one you like more. There's a whole lot to it. I love the Masterpiece Transformers. I love the scale. I love everything about it. And I was the 12-inch guy, but now that, as you can see, I'm running out of space, I'm happy they went with 9-inch. About 2 years ago, I realized that they made the right decision back in 2005 to switch to the 9-inch scale. And with that, Masterpiece wins for me. It's number 1, top of my priority, meaning, of course, I'm going to be continually buying, purchasing, reviewing these Masterpiece Transformers on the channel, and that is where I have the most fun. And, of course, Friday is Masterpiece Day, right? But let me know what you think about this. Have you been thinking about reprioritizing your collecting? Do you prioritize your collecting, or are you just one thing only? I mean, a lot of collectors are, I just collect Masterpiece, I just collect Vintage, I just collect the G1 Vintage, I just collect Hasbro, because it's all one scale. And are you someone like me that's a little wackadoodle collecting 5 different things when it comes to the Transformers universe? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Let's have a great weekend. Tiberium Hanger out.